everybody, it's Romania Black, and we are on episode 5 of Medalist, and I'm super excited because last episode, Inori she did the damn thing. She stood up to her mom, she spoke for herself, she spoke from her heart, and then she went out there, did her performance, not only did a sit spin, did a broken leg sit spin, and now has over 12 points and is at the top of the leaderboard. And so, all of the pressure now falls to Mikay, who is going to have to go by the end of her bracket to challenge Inori's score. So I am super excited. You know what? I feel like it's going to be a win-win either way. Either Mikay is going to beat her, but Inori will have that competitive drive and feel like she's accomplished something, or Mikay will cave under the pressure and not meet the scores, and Inori will win her first competition. So we'll just see. We'll just see where it goes. I'm not going to be mad either way. So, but this episode has me really excited because, like, the hard part is over. I feel like we've watched our main character. She has basically done what she can. She's done the best that she can. And now we just have to sit back and see how these other characters do. And I'm really excited about that. So we're going to see what happens. But real quick, I want to say before we start, I have 2 comments I want to talk about from episodes 2 and episode 3. From episode 2, Icelanta8504 says, my shipper alarm triggered when the black dressed coach appeared as well. I really enjoy a tsundere power bottom and a bright puppy trope. Now look, we don't know if that brooding coach is a tsundere yet or not, although I would have probably guessed that too. We don't know that for sure yet. Not we don't know if he's a power bottom or not, but yet no. I am all about, you see the vision. I am soaking in the vision. I am totally into a golden retriever, puppy dog top, and a tsundere power bomb. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I can name you a dozen series that I'm like, yes, that. So yes, we'll see. We'll see if Tsukasa and Mr. Brooding, I'm going to call him Mr. Brooding, if Mr. Brooding and Tsukasa meet and how that exchange goes, because it's going to come across to me as like enemies to lovers, because I cannot see them getting off on the right foot with each other, but we'll see. And then Christened H for episode 3 says, Tsukasa being more buff could possibly be attributed to the fact that he was an ice dancer with a Tomy. They have to be strong enough for the extended lifts and holds required for an ice dance. And some of the men currently competing in the pairs discipline are so tall and so very nicely built. Here's my thing. I love that, so thank you for pointing that out. That makes sense. You've got to be strong enough to lift someone up. And honestly, you can seem relatively slender and still have some good core strength and muscle strength, but being buff is usually attributed to having some kind of upper body strength, I guess, in that sense. But here's my thing. I want Tsukasa to be this buff body because he's done pair skating and because he needs it to lift the other person up. And I want Mr. Brooding to be like, he never does pair skating. He refuses to do pairs. He's a solo skater, and thus he doesn't have the strength, and so Tsukasa has to lift him up. Can I dream? Can I dream? Is that fine? But anyway, I'm really excited. I'm super excited. Thank you all so much for the comments. I have really appreciated it. But with that being said, we're not going to waste any more time. We are going to dive into Medalist. As soon as Hulu wants to start this before I'm ready. We're going to start Medalist episode 5 here on Hulu. And we're going to be watching it here and diving into that in 3, 2, 1. And let's do it to it. Oh my God! Finally, it's happening to me. I've been waiting so patiently. I don't know how y'all know, if y'all know this, but I've been waiting very patiently for Tsukasa to meet Mr. Brooding, Mr. June. Now, June and Hikaru have different names. But I'm not ruling it out. I'm not ruling their relation out yet because of reasons. So we're going to get into those reasons here in a little bit, but I'm not ruling it out because I have some theories with old Mr. Brooding. I'm going to call it June and Tsukasa and June. Oh my God. Yes, I I love them already. I'm rooting for enemies to lovers. Enemies to lovers, y'all know I love a slow burn. I love an enemies to lovers. I'm like, mwah, 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 eat it up. Yes. So let's get into this episode because I'm going to gush enough when we get to Tsukasa and June, but we're not there yet. So this was a really good episode, and I feel for Mikay. I feel like they definitely put two different synopses in these episodes. We had to get through, I feel like we got through Mikay's whole thing very quickly, which I'm not mad at because we're going to have Mikay in the story throughout the series, I'm sure. And Mikay and Inori are probably going to be in the same competition in the future. So it's fine that we didn't spend a whole lot of time with her. We got enough character development with her and Nichan, her coach, that we can, or Nachin, that we can draw. Her name's Mario, isn't it? Yeah. I've been calling her Mario, but I feel as if we're going to get more with their characters later on in the series. So, I mean, they didn't draw it out. They were like, she's either going to stick the landing, do the program, and beat Inori, or she's going to not place or get third. Honestly, she got 11 point something and Inori got 12.64. There was less than a point between them. So that girl that got second, must have been really, really close and must have happened, between Inori and Mikay. So that's interesting. We don't even get who she is. I was getting My Hero Academia vibes because I was thinking of Byakuya in one of the seasons where he's in a straight jacket. You just gotta go watch My Hero Academia. It's season 2. It's pretty early on in the series, but he's in a straight jacket as a third place on the podium. That was Mikay for me. So this is the much more tame and wholesome, realistic side of that. But Mikay now makes a lot more sense as a character. And Mario, her coach, freaking love her. I love her. Also, she's not much taller. She gives me Kirsten Chenoweth vibes in that she's not much taller than Mikay. Mikay's pretty small, so she's a very petite skater herself, and I feel like she's very fiery, which, you know what, it makes sense for her personality. She has the earrings, she has the ombre dyed hair that's been dyed different colors. She has this vibe around her that's very fiery, her hair is literal fire. She just seems like the type of coach that she's I'm kind of crass, I kind of talk loud, I'm a little abrasive, and none of the other students want to work with me because they can't handle me, but you can handle me. And I like your personality because it reminds me of myself. I feel like a lot of these coaches work with kids, especially in figure skating, because they connect with those kids. Not always. Again, I'm going to reference Yuri on Ice because of course I'm going to reference it. Do I think that Victor's coach connects with him on that same level? No, I don't think so. But I feel like in this, Tsukasa and Inori connect very well on certain things, and Mario and Mikay connect on very certain things. Now, June, aka Mr. Brooding, he seems very different than Hikaru, but I have theories, so we'll get into that when we get into that. But it also makes more sense now why Mikay is I don't want adults to tell me, I don't want adults to affect me. It's not so much them telling her what to do, and it's not so much Mikay, getting supported that she's against. It's the fact that she has this trauma from being this loud, kind of abrasive kid that has an attitude, and these kids kind of exploiting that to get her in trouble instead of them. The fact that the girls broke the toy, but they blame Mikay, and Mikay has this kind of rough, gruff, aggressive appearance, and so it's easy to place the blame on her because it's believable that she would break the toy. It's oh, well, yeah, she's an aggressive little kid. Of course she would break it. When the reality is that she didn't. But being a teacher myself, I can tell you that there are stereotypes against kids in schools. But when you work there, especially I substitute taught for years, 5 or 6 years, I was a substitute teacher before I got a full-time job. And so, because the job market. But anyway, so I would be able to go to these schools, and because I was a substitute teacher, I wasn't the one that saw them every day. So I would quickly fly on the wall, get the fill-in of what kids had the assumptions around them. And then when you interact with those kids, you realize you're no, I don't think that they're really that bad like you say they are. They're just probably the situation here with Mikay. They're misunderstood, or they seem aggressive, but then they're not, the blame gets placed on them when it's kind of misplaced. And I feel like that's what's happened here. Again, time and time again, these shows tell me that some of these adults, y'all gotta work. You gotta work on your skills with kids. Because these two women, they're oh, Ryoka broke the toy. And she's well, you guys broke it. And these women that are like, say you're sorry, like they didn't even hear her side of the story out. And the sad thing is there are adults like that because a kid has a preconceived notion around them or prejudice around them, they choose not to believe in that kid's words. And it's really sad. And all it does is perpetuate this like sense of hopelessness for the kid, where the kid is like, well, I either need to lean in and be aggressive and just say, screw you all and do things myself, or I have to give up and then just kind of go, okay, I guess I'll just exist. And that's not cool. So Mikay kind of runs through the whole roller coaster of that in this episode. And I love that Mario, her coach, finally is like, no, her coach is like, you just need to be around the right people. Like, you're just going to have to figure out who your people are, and stick with them. Because she's like, don't give in. She's like, your assertiveness gives you strength. And she's like, I don't want you to throw away the one thing that gives you strength. She's like, I like that you want to skate on your own. She's like, I like that you have that strength, because not a lot of people have. I mean, that's what Inori struggles with. Inori struggles with self-doubt and not believing in herself. And Mikay's coach is like, no, your strength is you believe in yourself and you know you can do it and you don't let outside factors pressure you. And she's like, that's what makes you a great skater. Don't throw that away trying to appease somebody and a system that isn't built for you. So I love that. I love that. And she's like, look, she's like, you have your own ability. I want to talk though about these coaches. So yeah, there's this moment here where all of them are skating and it showed all the coaches back to back, side by side. I want to get to that because there is a moment where they're all like, okay, we're going to get past that part here. Where is this moment? There's a moment where, yeah, okay, so all of them are watching and it shows, yeah, I want to go back to that. Go minimize that. Okay. Oh no. We'll get back on here. There we go. There's this moment where they're all celebrating them in that moment of skating, but Mr. Brooding, old June, he is not there. He is not present watching her succeed. Yeah, so look, there's the one coach that is the dad that's an Olympic figure skater, so we're going to get to him. There's a Tomy, there's these other two, but yeah, no, Mr. Brooding isn't there. Why would Mr. Brooding not be there? Well, I have thoughts about that because he's a gold medalist skater. Why would he not be there? I have thoughts. I have many thoughts. So anyway, I love that the coach is like, she was treated as a problem because of her attitude, but that's part of her strength. She's an excellent skater. That's where she excels. I didn't start this. Sorry. I didn't start the screenshots. You probably were like, what is she even looking at? So here in 3, 2, 1, I didn't show you all, but basically the coach, Hikaru's coach, is not in the OP, standing there cheering with the other coaches. So case in point, make note of that. But yeah, she's always been an excellent skater. And I think that there is a Yurio vibe from Yuri on Ice that's with her. There is a Yurio vibe where she has like a cat-likeness to her, but she also has this fierceness and this kind of like just athleticism and rhythm. Like, she reminds me of Yurio, which, you have Inori reminds me of Yuri. So there you go. There's a little connection there. But I like that she plays to this sort of like spunkiness. She's got this little spunky cuteness. It's not exactly kawaii. I don't think they say kawaii, but she has this like spunkiness to her that's like a go get 'em, like you get 'em, girl, like one of those. There's kind of a tomboyishness to her that I really appreciate. But yeah, and they're like, she's really cool. And the thing that gets me is as Mikay is crashing out, as she's crashing out, freaking out about her performance, Inori thinks she's amazing. She thinks she's so good. She's like, wow, she's incredible. And that just tells you about perception. If Mikay had been able to recover from not landing the way she needed to and then figured out how to keep going with her program, she would have probably beat Inori and the other girl. She probably would have at least got second or first. But she let her own self-doubt get in the way. And that's kind of like, it shows the importance of just being able to recover and work through things. Well, I coach speech and debate, and I tell my students all the time, because they're nervous about, what if I blank? What if I forget a point? What if I mess up a sentence or a reference? And I'm like, your judge doesn't have the script. Like, they're following along, they're listening, so they're making sure it makes sense. But if you like mess up a date on a source, it's okay. It's not the end of the world. If you get to a point where you forget where you go next, you just take a breath, think about for a second, and move forward. It's not the fact that you mess up that can be the thing that prevents you from advancing in a competition like that. It's not the mess up necessarily, but it's what you do afterwards. It's, do you recover and move on and let the quality of the rest of your performance overshadow that blip? Because if you can do that, a lot of judges will overlook that blip, or they'll downgrade how severe it is. But if you fumble and flop after that mistake, then yeah, it's going to hurt you. So it's really how you handle moving forward from a mistake that makes all the difference. And I like that everyone thinks that her jumps and everything are amazing, but the moment she makes that mistake, Tsukasa recognizes immediately what's going on. And I wish we'd gotten Hitomi, and I wish we got Mario's perspective, but she was the choreographer, so she knows that the move has been messed up. But I don't know if Tsukasa recognizing it is going to be foreshadowing that Tsukasa has this ability to kind of have foresight into that, or if Hitomi recognized it as well. I don't know. It would be kind of cool if we saw that, but she was supposed to do this one jump, and I like that Mario, I like that her coach isn't mad and doesn't immediately say, oh, she missed the jump, well, we just lost. You know, she doesn't do that. Instead, she's like, damn, she practiced really hard on that. She's really good at that. That's a shame that she missed it. But she still thinks there's a chance for her to recover. Like, that mentality with the coach, that made me fall in love with Mikay's coach. I'm like, yes, yes, yes. I don't know. We don't know Rio's dad enough to know how he reacts to things. I get the impression from how Rio acts that the dad, because kids learn things from the people they're around. They are sponges. They learn prejudice, they learn hatred of others, they learn those things by experience. They're not born innately with that. So Rio being such a jerk, to me, implies that his father has embedded that logic and that mentality into him. Like, he's learned how to be prejudiced against people who aren't as good as him because of his father. Now, we don't know that because we've not met the father, so I am assuming a lot. I could be totally wrong. I assumed Hikaru would be really stuck up because she was so good, and she turns out to be this wonderful person, which is interesting with June. Again, the tsundere claims, the allegations are not being beat there. We'll talk about it. But I feel like Rio is the way that he is because of his father. And it's interesting that Tsukasa looks up to his dad so much when his dad could turn out to be a real jerk. We'll see. So she's like, she could recover by getting into the right combination. But at this point, Mikay is just given up. And she's like, I just want a do-over. I've never missed that combination and I needed it. She's like, I can't win anymore. And I love that her coach is like, just stick to what you were going to do. You can still do it. Don't doubt yourself. Like, I love that her coach is like, don't give up. Like, just, I love that. I was like, yes, don't give up. That's the biggest thing. Like, try your best. That is always what I tell my students when we're competing. I'm like, you know what? If you do the best you can and someone beats you because the judge liked their performance better, you have no right to complain. And no one has any right to judge you. Like, you did the best you could. And it either worked or it didn't work. But I'm like, don't give up. Try, damn it. And I feel the coach's anger there. She's like, you can do it. Just do the axel on the last flip and you can come out victorious. She's like, remember. She's like being freaking Mufasa over here. Remember who you are, Mikay. But yeah, and she's like, my mom and dad are watching. Which I think is very... One thing about Mikay's character that I do appreciate a lot is that she does recognize and loves her parents' involvement. Like, she talked about the mom spending all the time, like, stoning her outfit and getting it ready and supporting her. And she's there for her. And I don't think the mom would ever judge her. The mom seems like the most chill, happy-go-lucky woman imaginable. But, like, because she was kind of a contrast to Inori's mom. But, yeah, even though she claims she doesn't want adults telling her what to do, she still values that's the thing. It's a mask. She's like, I don't want to listen to adults. I don't want to do what they say. But the reality is she places a lot of value in what they think of her and how they perceive her. And so she, in trying to be independent, is to get on a side where she's trying to convince herself that their opinions don't matter, but she deeply is ingrained into what they think of her. And that's so crazy. I'm like, oh, girl. She's like, I can do it. I'm not always like this. I've always landed these. I can do it, but she's like, I want to do over. I want to redo everything I've messed up. And that shot of her with the toy, like they're blaming her. And then she looks at Inori. She's like, I wanted to redo everything I've messed up. She's like, I messed up our friendship by yelling at her. And she's like, I couldn't possibly, Inori's not going to be my friend now, which is the furthest from the truth. Inori wants to be her friend so badly, but she doesn't think that. I'll do better next time. And Nachin is like, come on, add this. And she's like, I just want to do over. And so she just redoes what she did before. And Hitomi is like, oh, she redid the jump. Yep. She's like, she's redoing the thing she messed up the first time. The same jump in the program. I felt for Mikay. It's like I wanted Inori to win. I wanted her to win and get the medal, but at the same time, I didn't want Mikay to crash out so badly. I wanted her to get close and just miss it by a hair, but that's not what happened. That is not what happened at all. Oh. So yeah, and then I love her coaches say, I love when she's like, no, stop. You're going to stop and stand right here. She's like, I'm not mad. She's like, first of all, put these guards back on so you're not tearing up the carpet with your ice skates, because those are blades. But I like that she's like, hey, I need you to know it's okay. We're going to work on this. She's like, you forgot how to recover. See, you've learned something today. You've learned the importance of recovery. And she's like, we're not going to cut those practices short. I like that she frames it back being like, hey, remember all those times we cut those practices short because you knew what to do? Well, now you've had a moment where you didn't know what to do. So what did that teach us? Like she's not yelling at her. She's just saying, hey, right? Are we on the same page? Are we doing this? And then when she's like, yes, sure, whatever you say. And she's like, I'm sorry. And she's like, what has gotten into you? I love that she's like, no, she's like, I should have practiced more. And she's like, I've got to change my attitude. And she blames everything that's happening on, how she acts. She's like, I have to be able to decide to do things on my own because no one's on my side. And that's the thing. She tells her coach, she's like, I try to have this attitude. She's like, because nobody supports me. But then I want them to support me. But then she's like, I try to appeal to them and they still hate me. She's like, I don't know what to do. She's like, I can't win at anything. And I love that her coach is like, you're a dummy. Like, don't listen to any of them. She's like, you're scolding yourself for something that makes you strong. And I'm like, yes. Yes, 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 yes. I love that each of these characters in this series are coming at figure skating from their own unique perspective. And that's the thing. You can't be somebody else. Like, she can't be Inori, and Inori can't be Mikay. Neither of them can be Hikaru or Rio or whatever. Like, they have to come at it in their own unique sense. And it's basically, figure skating is taking what you are as a figure skater and what makes you special and perfecting that. Polishing it as close to perfect as you can be, because I don't think anybody can ever be perfect. But polishing you to as close to perfect as you can be. And if you can do that, then you can be successful. And that's what her coach is like, you have a strength. You're good at figure skating because you say, screw everybody else. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's giving Alyssa Liu vibes. Like, just do your own thing and say, forget everybody else. And I like that we go back to this where her coach is like, skating is a one-man sport unless, you do pairs or other things. She's like, why do you have to play nice? You work at it and you get rewarded. She's like, I'm not telling you not to. And I love that she relates to herself. She's like, this is going to be fun. She's like, do you want to be my student? I lost all my students because I like to run my mouth too. She has such an Android 18 vibe, like with the blonde hair and the belt and the jeans, like only there's shorts instead of the skirt. I'm like, hell yeah. I love that. I love that her coach is like, look, I ran kids off because I was too abrasive, but we might be able to make this work. We're kind of similar, so I think we can handle each other. I'm like, yes. I love it. I love this moment between them. And then she shakes her hand and she's like, there's a strength in a sport where it only takes a handful of people who have what it takes. Don't deny that part of you to please everyone else. You'll be right in your anger, and with that, you can get stronger. I know you can get stronger right as you are. Oh, she's like, I don't want, if we don't bend to anyone else. And she's like, well, that's not what grown-ups say. And she's like, well, I'm a grown-up. And she's like, no, you're not. I love that. They like have such a big sister, little sister vibe. I absolutely love that. I just love their dynamic. I love her being like, look, I'm going to take you all the way because I believe in you. And I'm like, I just love it. It's mainly what Tsukasa told Inori, just in a way that fits Mikay. Because Tsukasa said it in a way that fits Inori, and she's saying it in a way that fits her. And I'm just like, slay me now. I freaking love it. And then she got the 3rd place, and then Inori comes up. I like that at first she hides behind her coach, and her coach is like, nope, we're just practicing being ourselves. And she's like, no. And Inori's the sweetest. She's like, hey, will you skate with me again? And that's all it took. Like, girl, you might as well give her a head pat and a big old piece of salmon, because that cat's like, yes! I'm so glad they made up. I'm so glad that they are friends. I'm so glad that, and this podium thing here. So 2nd place was Hime Sakurai. Who even knows? But yeah, and then this part here where she helps her up. That's so cute. Yeah. I mean, who wouldn't fall for Inori in that moment, right? Hey, look over here. Yes, look at that. That's so cute where she's like, ha! I love that she's just like, and Inori got the little trophy. Yes, that's so adorable. Yes, please. So cute. I also like the realism of it because the girl at the same place is looking over at her parents taking a picture, so she's not focused on the ones in front of her. Love that. That's so cute. Mm-hmm. And also there's like the whole family there. So we get a shot of them. Yeah, the coach with the mom. The mom is surprisingly tall, so interesting. And yeah, Tsukasa and everybody. Nice. So anyway, and then I love that the classmates and this other, I don't know who this skater with the puffy like little fro is. He's fun. And the girl behind him. So there's like her classmates are there and these other figure skaters are there watching. And I love that Mikay is just Velcroed around her, like new best friend, like we are besties. And I'm like Inori is her emotional support friend. Like, yes, it's so cute. So Rio shows up and Inori rightfully is freaked out by Rio. There's a camera crew there to film Hikaru. Yeah, it's crazy this year because Hikaru's here. This kid is like, looks wise, he is like if Joe and Matt from Digimon combined into a character, but had Ken Ichijoji's personality. Like, that's literally what he is. I'm like, when he was the Digimon Emperor. I mean, yes. I'm just like, and look, and he's even got like the ear piercing. Dude, my dude. Like the earring, your dad let you get your ear pierced when you're like 10? What? I don't know. There's a part of me that like, I don't know if he like likes Hikaru, like likes her, like has a crush on her, or if he only likes her because she's the top skater and because she's like on the same team with his dad and stuff. I want to lean towards that more than anything because I think she's just like, oh no, Ryo's my friend. I also have theories, but we're not ready for that yet. So he's like, oh, I'll leave once I watch Hikaru. And Inori's like, oh my God. And they're like, oh, have you guys met? Have you met Rio? And she's like, oh, hi. And then he's like, who are you? Well, at least he doesn't hold a grudge against her because he doesn't even remember who she is. So there's that. Oh my God. And so then they say your dad's hair is turned white again. Like he did Just for Men and it faded. And then he goes, oh yeah, I really hate it. What did he say? So yeah, we see him there. Wow. So that man, because he's like, I hope I don't take after him. At first I was like, oh honey, oh genetics. I hate to tell you, but genetics they're a problem. But if his dad had brunette hair and he has blonde hair, there's a good chance that you might be in the clear, Rayo. But if your dad dyed it brown, there's a chance you're not in the clear. So just be now baldness, you got to look on the mom's side, but yeah. And then Tsukasa sees him. That man, Rio gets his looks from his dad 1000%. Okay, I'm assuming maybe that's the mom there too. Interesting. Yeah. Rio takes after his dad a lot. Interesting. Yeah, that must be the pair of them, the mom and the dad. So Shinichiro Sonidori in the flesh. Okay. And he's like, and of course Tsukasa's fanboying because he's like, that's an Olympic silver medalist. Wow. Is that supposed to be Yuri beside him? That outfit that is like on display there, that looks like Yuri's outfit that he skated in Yuri on Ice. If that is a subtle little nod to Yuri on Ice, that is incredible. That is amazing. But that looks like Yuri's outfit. But yeah, so we see the dad there, but his hair was brunette. So I'm like, okay. Maybe Rayo doesn't take exactly after him. Okay. Yep, he's like, the athletes in Group 1 are as follows. First, Haruka Shibasaki from Meikoh Crown. Yep, and second will be Hikaru Kamasaki from Meikoh Wind. So Hikaru Kamasaki and Jun Hirosaka, very different names. I, again, have my thoughts. Look, we can't make Hikaru perfect. If she was perfect, we wouldn't have anything, we could follow up with. But what we can say is that girl needs someone to help her with her hair because them flyaways. I also like that. Oh, Soda. That's the kid with the afro's name. His name is Soda. Nice to meet you, Soda. Thank you, subtitles. But yeah, Rio's like, go! So, okay. So yes, so I like that Rio is cheering her on. Mainly, again, I think he does like her as a friend. But I don't know if he's cheering her on more because of her talent and because she's connected to his dad. We'll see more on that maybe with that character. But yeah, and then Inori, I like that she cheers just as hard. We have a love triangle and we've not even recognized it yet, But yeah, girl, I love the Black Swan vibes. Love that. Love a Black Swan vibe. She needs help getting that hair up. Them flyaways, my friend. Them flyaways. She has the same hair and eye color as June, though. So here's my theory. We might as well talk about it. My theory is, because if he's, 26 and she's 12, I don't think she can be his child. I don't think, unless he was older, unless he's like in his 30s, I don't think she's his child. But I think she might be a half sibling. Maybe she's a half sister. Maybe maybe her and him have the same mom and she took after the dad's name or something. I think they're half siblings or siblings. I think they're related. And I think he's helping her because maybe before the mom died, he promised he'd help take care of her. And he's helping to get her. And maybe he's staying out of the limelight with her because he's an Olympic gold medalist. So he doesn't want her to be in his shadow. And he doesn't want the press and the media to be comparing her to him. So he's staying to the side. That's why it's listed as Rio's dad being the choreographer, so that he doesn't get the recognition and the media just say her success is attributed to June, which we don't know June's story. So I'm curious about that. But maybe he's like, well, you'll be a better skater than I am, but I want you to be your own person. I don't want you to be associated with me and you get your own success. Maybe. And Rio's dad's like, sure, I'll take the credit, because why wouldn't he? Of course he would take the credit. So then maybe the brother, I think June's her brother, or if not the brother, the uncle. Either, I don't think he's old enough to be her dad. So either he's her uncle or he's her brother. One of the two. But he's her relative and he's trying to stay out of, connecting with her so that she can be her own person and have her own success story. Those are my thoughts. I think he's the uncle or the brother, one of the two. I'm leaning maybe more towards uncle, the way that she acts around him. But if she doesn't have any family, like maybe her mom and him, June, were brother and sister. And since the mom has died, he feels obligated to help take care of her and be her guardian. Maybe that's the case. Maybe we'll find out. And he also maybe sucks as an uncle in terms of getting her ready for the show. And since Rio's dad doesn't have a daughter, doesn't know how to do hair. That's such a fierce shot, though. Girl is fierce. And again, I feel for Inori, because Inori sees how perfect she is and doesn't think she can catch up to that. She feels doubtful that she has the ability to get on her level. And I'm like, no, I think you can. Like, she's very clean. Like, she does some really good techniques. And she has a seamless program because she's practiced it so much. And she has this confidence. So that's totally part of it. I think that Inori can get up to her level because Inori has a passion. I'm not saying that Hikaru doesn't have a passion too. She's just very clean and methodical and strategic. And she adds it all together very well with her confidence. So, but yeah, I will say, watching her program, it's technically beautiful and it's very seamless. But I'll be honest, I thought it was impressive, but I'm like, it could have had a little more passion. I think that Inori's had more passion. It just wasn't as technically good. So, interesting. We're setting up some interesting things with the two of them. But yeah. And so yeah, she landed a triple Lutz and a triple loop on one leg. She made it look easy. I love that we established this, that Inori calls her skating a miracle. She calls how Hikaru skates a miracle. And a miracle is something that very rarely happens or is a blessing or a divine action. And so for Inori, she's like, how in the world could I skate better than a miracle? You know, and that's going to be the contender in this. That's going to be the thing in the season. But the thing is, Hikaru's like, hey, like Rio wasn't waving back at her. And Inori's like, hey, and she's like, oh, you came to watch me. Like, you can't get mad at Hikaru. She's perfect. She, like, her hair being messy is the one thing she needs to be a flaw. Otherwise, she's literally an angel. Like, she's so nice. But yeah, so it says 144 centimeters. Yeah. In group 6, yeah. Choreography by Shinichiro Sonodori. And I like that Tsukasa's like, that doesn't seem like his type of choreography. Which I'm like, Tsukasa has studied these skaters, so he would know. So man, as soon as we saw a dark corridor, I was like, oh, Inori's going to go try to find Hikaru and is going to run into Mr. Brooding. Is going to run into Jun. I was like, as soon as I saw that was the case. Because what is this? Sir, are you trying to be incognito and dressed in all black? Apparently he is, because he has a little white patch of hair on it. He has like a birthmark, a white patch of hair that he tries to cover up by combing it forward. So Jun does not want to be recognized. He does not. That's an interesting thing to note. So Jun is an Olympic gold medalist. Or maybe not Olympic. He's a gold medalist. I don't know about Olympic. We're going to establish that. But he doesn't want to be recognized. He doesn't want to be seen there. He doesn't want the press, which I can understand. But I think that establishes that he's not as egotistical as he comes off as being, or narcissistic, because if he was a narcissist and an egoist, he would want to be showing off who he is. So that maybe puts him at odds with Rio's personality, so I'm very curious. But yeah, like those eyes. But they're the same as Hikaru's. So she falls back, but this is what gets me, is that two things. One, Jun didn't let her fall and hurt herself and threw himself in the way instead. To me, that immediately establishes his character. He's tsundere as hell, but he has a good heart, and he's not going to let her get hurt. So that establishes that. Two, this man is a walking disaster. Maybe other than figure skating, he's terrible at everything else. Can him and Tsukasa be walking disaster boyfriends together? Can we have this? Can I have this? Can you give me this show? Please. Please give me this. I'm not asking for much. I also the humor of this show where she's like, he's dead. And the little thing is like, he is not dead. And then when it gets to Tsukasa, it's like another death. And it's like, he is not dead either. Freaking hilarious. She's like, what do I do? I love it. I love that her solution is she holds up the bottle. like this is all she has left to do. She's like, this is the only way. It's like the barley tea. So freaking funny. So freaking funny. I lose my shit at this. Like, that's so funny. Oh my God. The humor in this series gets me. This is my type of humor. I absolutely adore it. She's like, I had to wake him up. She's like, wheat tea is not a healing potion. Another death. And he's like, this is deja vu. We've been here before. But yeah, when he looks over, I love that he's just sitting there holding his like knees around his arms around his knees. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? Are you freaking kidding me? Like, okay, we have to find out who his voice actor is real quick. June, Medalist, VA. We need to know these things. These are very important things to note. Yuma Uchida! Oh, you freaking kidding me? Are you freaking kidding me? Are you really? Oh my god. Okay. Okay, Jun Yodaka. Oh my gosh. Ueno Yama's voice actor is voicing Jun. Okay. Oh my god. And he's Megumi Fushiguro. And he's Sakura. He's Haruka Sakura. The character writes itself. The character, like, my dude has been typecast. He has been typecast as brooding dark-haired man. Oh my god. Oh my god. And he's Reo from Blue Lock. Oh my god. And so many other roles. I freaking love Uchida. Hell yes. Yes, 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 yes. But, oh my god, this fits perfectly. And then he's like, oh yeah. And when he's when he's wiping, yeah, the hair. This man also looks older than maybe he is. He's at least in his late 20s because they draw him with like the lines around his eyes, but he has that little spot of hair when it's pushed back that is white. And Tsukasa immediately recognizes it. They're like, oh my god, yeah. Well, he kind of looked brooding there too. Oh, yes, at the Olympics, he's wearing Yuri's outfit. Okay, so here we go. His outfit is basically Yuri from Yuri on Ice. Okay. All right. Well, there we go. So he got the gold medal at the Olympics and Rio's dad got silver. Well, that establishes a whole dynamic of Rio wanting to compete against Hikaru because his dad and her possible relative competed together in the Olympics as well. So that's creating that dynamic. Wow. Okay. Okay, which figure saying seems like a small world. You know, everybody knows everybody. You look like Jun Yudaka, the gold medalist, when you push your hair back. And he's like, well, I am him, so I'm the real deal. So I suppose I would look more like him than a stranger would. It's crazy how different he looks with the hair down versus up, which to me tells he doesn't want to be recognized, which is interesting. And of course, Tsukasa is like, oh my god. And he's like, well, you're a competitive ice dancer, aren't you? Also, I get that June seems kind of awkward, and again, walking disaster because of everything we've seen of him so far. But he's like, oh, at the Japan Figure Skating Championships, he says, you messed up a lift pretty bad. So now he's revealed one of Tsukasa's big secrets and, you know, just bring up the trauma right here in front of Inori and God's Green Earth and everyone. Yeah. He's like, but I don't know. The performance stuck with me. Show. I'm sure it stuck with you. I'm sure it stuck with you for reasons. I'm sure there were reasons it stuck with you, particularly the person performing the lift. I'm sure it stuck with you for reasons. Oh my god, Show, what are you doing? Oh, the shipper goggles ain't going nowhere. They are locked in. They are ready to go. He's like, someone like you remembered me. And here's the thing. At first, he's like, I don't know. You were pretty much a commoner, but there's something about you that I remembered. And Tsukasa's like, oh my god, the gold medal figure skater remembered me. And then it's like, they go from acquaintances to enemies to where we're going to go from that. I was like, oh my god. So yeah. And she's like, oh, Hikaru. And he's like, I sent her away. Here, she had a lesson today. See, the whole I sent her away, she had a lesson today. I'm like, that sounds like something a relative would do. I don't know. Seems like that. And she's like, are you Hikaru's coach? And he doesn't respond to that. When he just sits there drying his hair when she says, are you her coach? And I don't know if he wanted to say I'm, her relative as well as her coach. But they kind of assume, they're like, oh, well, that would make sense. The choreography was created by Jun Yodaka. So, we don't get answers as far as that goes. That's going to be something revealed later on in the show, I am sure. But I think that is establishing. Or, here's the thing. If he's not related to her, then why would he then that creates another mystery. Why would he not want people to know that he's her coach? Does he have a scandal that's surrounding him and her, and he doesn't want her involved in the scandal because it'll ruin her chances of being a pro figure skater or being, you know, up there in the Olympics or whatever? Is there something to that? So we have this mystery. He's either related to her and there's a mystery surrounding that, or he's not and there's a mystery surrounding why he doesn't want to be recognized as her coach. We're gonna find out over the course of this series, but I'm super excited about that. And then Inori's like, you know, I'm not going to give up, so wait for me. As soon as she said that, as soon as he said, what level are you? And she said prelim, I was like, oh, he's going to dig into her about that. And then he's like, do you think you can catch up with her? And she's like, yes. And he's like, well, you're too naive. And the moment he said you're too naive about yourself in this world, and Tsukasa's like, what did you say? I was like, that got his attention. And he's like, take that statement back. And I'm like, oh, he's like, well, you're the one who's naive. You shouldn't say things so easily. Yep, think about the weight of an Olympic gold medalist's words. Ooh, and that got his goat because he's like, don't you bring up my gold medal and all the weight and all the things that it carries. You don't even know. And he's like, I am Hikaru Kamasaki's coach. In order for this girl to win against Hikaru, you have to win against me. And I was like, oh. So that got him to admit that he's her coach, but not the other things. And I'm like, oh my dude. And Hikaru is like, challenge freaking accepted. And he's like, there is that courageous strength that comes from fighting for 2 lives. And Tsukasa's like, challenge accepted. I'm like, oh, I'm so ready to see this go down. I just imagine Inori and Hikaru being like, can they just get a room? She's like, I wish. But yeah. And so Tsukasa, but again, that whole fighting for 2 lives thing, I feel like there's more to it than that. And Tsukasa doesn't even realize what he's saying. There's so much mystery. I'm so excited. I'm so into this. Yes, please. And he's like, well, I don't care who you are or who I am. We are going to win. I'll spend the rest of my life leading this girl to victory. And I'm like, sir, she's going to like max out figure skating at age like 30 and you're going to be like 50. You got your whole life ahead of you, my dude. I freaking love it. Sunshine Golden Retriever Boy versus Brooding Disaster Catman. What could go wrong? I love it. He's like, you don't decide the future. Oh, Tsukasa, that light shining upon him. Oh, the fanfics. Oh my God. And then, and that's the end of the episode. Shit. To be fair, I like the tension between these two already. It's so good. Yes, please. Obviously, I won't be able to read fan fiction from this series for quite a while. But you know what? I'm so ready. I'm going to be ready. When those floodgates open, y'all don't even know. Anyway, we finally had them get together. They have finally confronted one another. I have so many questions. There's so much mystery. I could not ship them more. Oh my God. Yes. Absolutely. Yeah. Oh, I love it. He's like, you couldn't win against Hikaru if you tried your whole life. That's very curious too. I'm curious about that. And in that moment, his hair has like little white streaks to it. He really thinks that she's amazing. Like, what's so crazy is like him and he and Tsukasa kind of like amp up and hype up Hikaru and Inori in different ways. Tsukasa is like, she's amazing, the sunshine, everything. And then Jun is like, she's incredible. She's a glacier. You could not even. Like they hype up and glaze in different ways. And I love it. I love it so much. So yeah. I'm very curious to know your thoughts down below of what you think of these two, of this. It's going to be hard not to spoil. I know. I understand that. But oh my God. I'm so ready. So my dogs are ready as well. Anyway, I am very curious to know your thoughts down below. Please give this video a like. Please subscribe if you want to see Medalist every Tuesday with me. And I hope you all have a wonderful week. Please stay safe, take care, and oh my God, the shipper goggles are going to be on. And I will be here with episode 6 next week of Medalist. And I will see y'all there. Bye!